I'd like to call the meeting to order. Cindy, can we have roll, please?
Hopperly.
Here.
Barton.
Here.
Betteridge. Jones.
Here.
Shook.
Here.
Spar. Here. And Warren.
Here.
Thank you. We have a quorum.
If everybody's had a chance to look at last month's minutes, if there's no amendments, do I hear a motion for approval?
I move that we approve the minutes as is.
Second.
Thank you. Barton.
Yes.
Betteridge. Jones.
Yes.
Shook.
Yes.
Spar. Yes. Warren.
Yes.
And Hopperly.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, before we start, I got to read just a short little statement. This is a public hearing. It's being held tonight pursuant to a published notice. Any person wishing to address the zoning board will be sworn in by a court reporter and will give their testimony under the oath or affirmation. At the conclusion of the public hearing, the zoning board of appeals will make its determination. 4 yes votes are required to obtain approval from the zoning board. The purpose of the public hearing is for the zoning board of appeals to hear testimony regarding whether the proposed variance meets the required legal standards for a variance to be issued. The public hearing is not intended to afford individuals an opportunity to comment generally on whether the proposed project is or is not a good idea. Relevant factors for the zoning board are considered set by state law and the village code. Those relevant factors include whether hardship exists, which is not caused by the owner, which is unique to the property. Testimony offered should be limited to those relevant factors I've explained. Rules of the govern the conduct of tonight's public hearing. As chair of the meeting, no one should speak unless recognized by the chair, and any speakers should follow the directions of our chair. So with that, we'll start with our first case tonight. That's going to be the case number 1507. Morton Park District is requesting a variance for light poles at 349 West Birchwood, zoned R1. The maximum allowed height is 35 feet. Proposed lights will be 60 feet tall. Could whoever going to speak this case step up? Okay. Can you step up first, and Arlene will swear you in.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear to affirm the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Bruce Brown with the Farnsworth Group. We're designing the softball field. It's a project. Can you hear better with that way? Is that okay? The new softball diamond at Birchwood Park is a project the school district and the park district are undertaking together. We are putting in where the old parking lot is will be the fourth diamond. It'll be the girls softball high school varsity field at this time. We are going to do a 6-pole lighting system like most of the other fields around town are, and the lights, in order to make them work and not have multiple poles, will be a 6-pole system with a 60-foot height. That's consistent with your soccer fields, the other fields out here at Birchwood. To put them any lower, we'd go back to the discussions we've had before of lights being too low and pointed out. This puts them high and points them down to take care of it. And that field's about the farthest away from anything we have. It's pretty simple, but I'm willing, any questions you have, we'd be glad to answer.
I don't have any. Does anybody in the audience wish to speak to this case or have any questions? Does anybody else have any?
I guess I do have some questions.
Okay. If you just want to stand up and be sworn in.
Sure. Raise your right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear to affirm the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Yes.
If you
State your name. Tammy Pearson.
If you'd like, just stand up at the podium and just speak to them in the mic so we can hear it, so everybody can hear.
So actually, I just have concerns about the light, the extra light that's going to be in the neighborhood and actually the homes behind the park. Another concern I have is that the park currently has three fields in it. I know we don't have the fourth one built yet. When is that going to be built? Is a question. Yeah. And then the other question then I had was the timing of the lights. How long will those lights be on? And
well, I think the park's closed at, is it 10?
I'm not sure when they do close, to be honest with you.
11 o'clock.
Okay, 11 o'clock. I doubt any of the girls' games go to high schools. They normally play early. As far as when it starts, we don't have starting date. All they're coming in is for that variance for the lights. And they're going to be like the lights out the soccer field, if you've seen those. They're just come straight down. There's not a lot of spillage.
So they're not like the current lights that are on the ball field
No.
now?
No, these are, yeah, he can answer that.
The lighting system is a must-go system, which they have on their fields now, but they're a little bit older, but they have the cutoff shields so that we don't have glare coming back behind the fixture, which is a more modern way to use it. We're at 60 feet. I don't know the height of the other fields, but I think they're a tad bit taller over at those. As far as construction, the plan is to build yet this year and try to make that field functional about a year from now to be used. I don't have any information on start times. That field will be on its own control system, so it doesn't, if the others are on, being used and that one's not, that one can be shut off. It's not all or nothing type of system.
Okay, so if the lights are on, then, or actually this field that's going to be built, do we have a timeline of when that's going to be built, the fourth one?
Yeah, he just said within the next year. They
But
wanted,
that's, not an exact date, and is it a for sure thing in the next year?
yeah.
If the bids are correct, yes.
If the
Yeah.
bids are correct, okay. And what about the cost of the lighting?
I don't know.
Okay, so this is really just a variance to be able to allow the lights?
This is just
and-
for the allowable height. That's all
Okay.
they're here for,
Okay.
to give that height, so.
And do you think that that is going to be better than the existing lights in the field as far as, the light spillage?
Yes.
Okay, all right, that's pretty much my questions, thanks.
All right, thanks. Nobody else has any questions? Well, I hear a motion.
I have a question with Tammy. So the main concern that you have is the lighting?
Yes, I do. I guess that's my main concern. I do have concerns about, the fact that what was a park, or do we need to have all parks a sports complex? And so we're losing a lot of green space. So, I don't know that battle can be won, but, sitting on my back patio currently where the field is, it's pretty bright. It doesn't really bother us. It was there when we moved in and we expected that. But there's a little clubhouse right there, or I guess that must be the concession stand, that a light stays on all the time. And when you're sitting on your porch, it's just right in your face. So I guess I didn't know what it was going to feel like sitting out on my patio after this comes in.
Yeah.
I think it should be better from what they said. It's going to be mainly just on the field.
Okay.
I'll clarify that. We are not adding any lights to anything else out there other than the 6 poles specifically for that playing field. So any changes to the building or other fields are not included in the work that we're performing.
Okay. Would this allow for, obviously, the big parking lot that's, directly behind our house now, there's not any plans currently for lights on that?
I am not aware of anything.
Okay, that answers everything. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would move to grant case number 15-07 under 1010 2C as stated.
I'll second.
Jones,
Yes.
Shook,
Yes.
Spar,
Yes.
Warren,
Yes.
Offerly,
Yes.
and Barton.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, that variance has been granted. I think it'll be a nice one when it's done. Okay, our next case is number 15-08, Morton Community Unit School District 709 is requesting a variance for a parking lot at 350 North Illinois Avenue, zoned R1. The required setback is 25 feet. Proposed parking lot will be 10 feet. Bruce, you have this one too?
I do.
Okay.
Does Roger have a picture?
I do.
This goes back to our discussion we had earlier this year about the tennis courts and the parking lots along K Street, and at that time, it was in the works, but things weren't finalized, that we could get everything taken care of. We have that done now. So we have submitted drawings for a 24-stall parking lot between the new tennis court facility that'll go in. They didn't give you the drawing, did they?
I don't have it to plug in here.
The site design is exactly like we had before with the tennis courts, and there was concern about off-street parking along K Street. And so the school district and the village, and at that time we were working on it, it just wasn't a done deal at the time. So what the conclusion is, there will be a new 24-stall parking lot provided along K Street as off-street parking, so it will be off of K Street with 2 entries as the village has asked us to do. And the problem with that is it's only 10 feet off the right-of-way instead of the required 25. And after discussions with the village, we felt that that was the proper thing to do to get the parking there and then to just reduce the yard setback for that. There's also the 7-foot wide sidewalk that's going along the back curb, so there'll be a brand-new sidewalk along K Street as well. And then the fencing will go away. The fencing will just be at the tennis courts themselves. So I think it addresses all the concerns that were done before. We just need the variance for the setback for the parking lot, which we have reviewed with the village and the Public Works people, and they wanted that setback changed.
I'm glad it worked out this way. I think it works, it's nice. I think it addressed everybody's issues, and I hope.
I wish we could have told you that when we went through this before, but we just weren't quite at
Right.
the finish line with it
Okay.
at that point, so.
Does anybody in the audience wish to comment about? Jim, you want to step sworn in?
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Thank you. Last time I spoke a little bit about the lights, but my major concern at that time was the safety and those kinds of issues. And I want to thank the school board and whomever all had responsibility. I know Mary was hesitant to address this until that was solved, but everybody agreed it was a good thing. And I want to thank you for what you did. I think this is going to be a lot better thing. I see the kids being able to use the sidewalk, and that keeps them out of the street a little better, and so I think that's good. The setback, Gene, I know Mr. and Mrs. Selvey are right there in Everest, and they're a little concerned about it, but I think having the parking over there is going to be much better than trying to take it off the street. So,
Yeah.
in general, very good. Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks, Jim. Does anyone on the board have any questions?
Bruce, the setback is to get the parking lot as close to the tennis courts, right? I mean, if we went, would that be east? There's more space, but you'd be further away from the courts. I mean, that's why we're,
Correct. We took the space, we put the parking as close to the tennis courts as possible, and then we left as much green space to the K Street side. So there's actually a little island that separates the parking from K Street. And we also put a few trees in there since we had the opportunity, so we could at least knock the view down a little bit to those directly across the street. It'll take a little while for the trees to grow, but we took that into consideration. If we moved farther to the east with the parking, we couldn't get all 24 in there, and then we started to get in the way of a lot of the track and field shot and discus fields, and that became a safety factor as well. I think this one with a 7-foot wide sidewalk, that's pretty good. I mean, we're really happy to see 5 or 6, 7 is great to do that. That should get the kids off the street. So if I lived on that street and I saw them walking down the street, and get on the sidewalk because that's where you belong. We just built it for you. So they should be using it. I think it's a better solution for everybody around. And the school district's plan is to isolate those 24 stalls for use with the tennis courts. So if there's other activities going on, there's still the ability to use that tennis court and not have even more cars throughout the neighborhood.
I know we
It'll take a
don't
little time.
have anything for them to look at, but in ours, you can see where they're going to have screening, where he's talking about some trees being planted on the front side of that, or on the back side, however you look at it, but it looks nice. That'll dress it up for you.
Does anybody have any other questions?
Do you need a timeline with this one at all?
No. With that, is that all right? Did you guys see now what they're going to do? Okay.
Our
That-
concern was just about the street, if they would be backing out on the.
Oh, okay.
street.
Okay.
They thought it might be more like a Illinois site.
Yeah.
Where
One.
you back right out in the street.
Okay. Yeah.
The parking lot, just to further explain, it's a one-way in, one-way out angled parking lot. You cannot back directly onto 2K Street from the parking lot at all. So it should provide good visibility even for those in the parking lot as well.
Very good. Yeah.
When you read that, I think you said Illinois, did you mean K?
I must have meant K.
Yep, it's
Yeah.
K Street.
I
Well, the
misspoke.
address of the school is Illinois.
Oh.
Yeah, the Illinois is
Okay.
350 North Illinois.
I misread what I'm told. All right, with that, do I hear a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we grant case number 15-08 under 1010-2C as stated.
Second.
Thank you. Jones?
Yes.
Shook?
Yes.
Spar?
Yes.
Warren?
Yes.
Popperly?
Yes.
And Barton?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. I think that'll be a great project there. Okay, Roger?
Nothing tonight.
All right, do I hear a motion for adjournment?
I move that we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you.
Aye.